My name is Andreas Knabe. I'm a professor of economics here at this faculty at the Obafemi University. And I'm also the program director of the International Business and Economics program, and I'm actually also a graduate of the very same program. I joined this study program here in the late 90s, 1998, and that was the second year when this program ran. So a small group of students actually started the year before that. But I have to admit, I wasn't aware of this program when I came to this university. I had a broad range of interests. I didn't really know what to study. I was interested in economics, politics, let's say some history, philosophy or so. I liked math. And I knew that I wanted to study something where, let's say, I could make an impact afterwards. Some rather idealist attitude, I guess, that I wanted to contribute something to make the world a better place or so. And also 2 years earlier, I spent a high school exchange year in the United States. So I also like to speak English. And then when I was here and I was looking around at the different study programs, then I saw this international study program that just started a year earlier, and I said, well, that's exactly the right program for me, and that's a perfect fit. I joined that program then in the winter term of '98, and I immediately liked this program. And there are three things that I value in this study program. And one is the content. It's business and economics at a high level. It's quite demanding, but one learns a lot, and it's really being taught at an internationally competitive level. Second thing I like is this mix of students, right? That we have German students in the program that are very open-minded and interested in the world, and we have people then from all over the world coming here, and it's just a really great atmosphere to study in. And the third thing I liked was the small group size. Compared to sitting in a lecture hall with 500 students, we only had about 50 students. So it was really easy to get to know everybody. It was also easy to get in contact with the lecturers, which also helped studying and understanding the material and just to have fun. Yeah, there are smaller changes here and there. I guess the most visible change is that when the program started, we had separate programs in management and economics, so you had to decide what you want to study. But really, the spirit of this whole faculty is that the two subjects, business and economics, are really closely related. We sometimes or often say that they actually one and the same subject because they both share the same methodological foundations. You can really understand one only if you also have a solid understanding of the other. So we made this change that we now have a joint program in international business and economics. Those are some other smaller changes. Like when I started, we still had classes in German law, which was interesting, but really difficult if half of the student body doesn't speak German, and you would have to read German legal code. That is often even difficult for German native speakers to understand. So eventually we dropped these classes and instead had a mandatory second foreign language, which for the international students would then mostly be German, and I think that's also a very reasonable change in the study program. It benefits the students a lot, I think. The main idea of the program remained that we have a business and economics program with an international orientation. Well, I'm quite happy that we've been able to consistently attract a large number of highly motivated and able students to this program throughout all these 25 years, right, that this program really got started very quickly, immediately attracted the number of students that we wanted to have, something between 60 and 80 every year. And that this has been the case for the last 25 years. Right? So that's good. And I'm also proud that we've been able to educate the students that choose to come to OVGU. And I think in a meaningful and reasonable way, which we can see afterwards by the high number of graduates that then went on to very successful academic and professional careers. Well, I would give two pieces of advice to new students. The first piece is study hard. This is a demanding, a challenging study program. One can really learn a lot in this program, but only if one also spends some time and energy studying. And so that's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is do not only study and do not only spend your time reading books, but also use the freedom, right, that you have in this university life to really develop as much as you can, and engage in student life, engage in student clubs, meet as many people as you can, gain as many new experiences as you can. I would also strongly recommend that that students don't only spend their entire time here in Magdeburg, but that they also spend a semester or two abroad at some other international university or so. So studying at a university is not only about studying, it's about really developing yourself both academically but also personally. Fortunately, what hasn't changed is that students today, as back then, they are just a bunch of young people who are interested to learn new things, interested in learning a subject, but also interested in exploring the world. Right? And that has always been the case, and I hope it will always be the case also in the future, and that's great. Well, the biggest advantage of the study program is, I think, really in this mix of having challenging, demanding, meaningful contents, this great mix of students from all over the world, and that combined with relatively small group sizes. And, where does it need improvement? Any study program needs constant improving. I guess there are always new demands coming up that we have to incorporate in the courses and in the overall schedule. I think I'm not the one who says where we need improvement so much as in my position, more as being responsible to listen to the students, where they think the study program needs improving, and that's why we have regular meetings and talks with the students. The students are always making suggestions on how things can improve, and then we're doing our best to incorporate them.
To be here. My name is Hristiyan and I am originally from Bulgaria. I studied international business and economics at the University of Magdeburg between 2013 and 2016, and I am currently a supply chain developer at Shell. My study program in international business and economics was a really valuable experience, that's no question about it, and it helped me advance my career in several ways. So first and foremost, it taught me to be self-organized and have a particularly good time management. And I think this shouldn't be underestimated. Second, it gave me a very solid foundation of economic theory and quantitative methods that I still use in my job nowadays. And third, but not least, It improved my communication and presentation skills in English, which is very essential for collaborating with international colleagues, clients, and partners. To be honest, I was a bit surprised when I remember that I started my studies around 10 years ago, because it just doesn't feel like it's so far away. But yeah, I just can advise the current ISP students to take advantage of the opportunities that the program offers for networking, because this experience will help you develop very valuable skills and connections that will just benefit you in your future career. For example, in the future, if you have to deal with a client or partners or colleagues from another country, you might already know someone you met during your studies and ask him questions. What should you do? What is your approach about it? And yeah, so just use the opportunity to network. And I did an internship in Malaysia, but working also with a lot of Indonesians and Singaporeans, because it was the hub for Southeast Asia. So I did reach out to one of my former classmates from IBE, and another one is Korea, because I used to be working student for Samsung, which is a Korean company. And before starting there, I was just really curious to hear about their working culture. I think the diversity of our study program really exposed me to different perspectives and approaches from my classmates, but also from the professors, because we shouldn't forget that our professors have also quite diverse backgrounds. And they also prepared me for my everyday life at the current company I'm working for, because we have, I don't know, probably daily I'm working with people from 10 different nationalities, spread across the world. I have one memory that is still very present in my head. I'm one of those persons who really like to study in the library. This amazing architecture made me concentrate very well. I remember that before exam period, it was really packed. So I really remember how we would start waiting in front of the library before it opens. And then when the door opens at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m., like you see this huge crowd of people just running to get a locker room, to get a place. So just every day you would see this. And I think it's just really funny. Another thing which I also remember until today is we used to have some kind of a homework assignment which we had to hand in, but I did not read correctly that I have to hand in this by paper in the office. So I thought it's like all usual assignments, you just send them online before the deadline. And then I checked the presentation where everything was written. It's like, oh, I have to hand in this by myself in a room. And then I started running to the copy center to print everything out. And then I was looking for this room, and I remember that this building of the Faculty of Economics has never seemed more confusing to me than this one time when I was just trying to find the room where I have to hand in my assignment. And I remember myself like running there like crazy, but I did manage to hand in everything on time. But definitely one of my most prominent memories. It's really nice to see that this program brings so many people together from around the world for so long already. And I think it's just a great thing that happened to me. I never regretted choosing this program for my studies.
My name is Marjaana Gunkel. I was born in Finland, and I studied in Magdeburg both the bachelor and the master. At that point of time, it was called Bachelor of Arts in Management and Master of Arts in Management. So I did both programs. And later on, I also taught in both of these programs. So when I then had finished my studies and I had finished my PhD, I actually taught in both of these programs. And currently I'm a professor of organization and human resource management at the University of Bolzano in Italy. And I'm also dean of the Faculty of Economics and Management. it's hard to say how it impacted my career, because I don't know how it would have been otherwise. But I believe, would I not have come to Magdeburg, I would not be here today in my job in Bolzano. So studying English in Germany gave me the possibility to study abroad with English language, but at the same time learn another language. So make myself proficient in German, and that opened many new doors for me. And I believe that the education all in Magdeburg was very good. And I still benefit from it today in my academic career. So I think the way how things were taught and what was taught was very beneficial for my career. Well, I guess studying abroad has always something to do with being homesick. So homesickness is something that I think all students who study abroad experience, at least to some degree. But this homesickness makes one grow, and maybe makes one to become more independent, and at the same time learn to face and deal with challenges, but also joys of being alone or being responsible for yourself and your actions. So I think that's a great experience. So I would say, even though one might feel homesick, it's not a bad thing. On the other hand, I think studying is always not so easy. So there are courses that are more difficult than others, or we might like some courses more than others. And I guess my advice would be that sometimes you just need to sit down and study, and even to memorize in order to pass an exam. It is definitely worth it. And I think one should just not lose the hope, I would say. I made a lot of friends in Magdeburg, and also in private life. It influenced my life quite a lot. So I would say I made friends in the study program that I'm still very good friends with, and that I keep contact with, and that we visit. They live in different countries than I do, but we still keep contact with the people that I studied with, not with everybody, but obviously the ones that I was closest with. Well, I don't think I have a specific story. I mean, a lot of funny and interesting things happened, but these are probably things that one should not share in public. So, studying is sometimes funny things happen, but I guess the other people might not enjoy me sharing these things. But I think, during the time that I was there, I got to know many professors, first as my professors and afterwards as my colleagues. And I have to say, these are all very nice people, committed to their work. And the program would not exist without these people who are committed to their work. And many of these people are also not professors. They might be administrative workers. So when I came, Mrs. Knabe was the administrative person responsible for the program, and I have to say she helped me a lot, even finding an apartment. So these were times when we were only very few people, and you had all these advantages. And now Mrs. Vogt is taking over the job, or has taken over the job. So I would say there are a lot of people at the university who contribute to the program. And I think that makes the program successful. So people who are really committed in developing and taking care of the students.
My name is Akinola Sanyaolu. I am originally from Nigeria. I study international management, marketing, and entrepreneur here in the University of OVGU. And I got a job here in Magdeburg, and I've spent all my 4 years here in Magdeburg, and I'm enjoying it. First is the perspective of seeing things. When you gather with different people from different nationalities, the international touch. We have a lot of, if you put in for this program, you have a lot of presentation. You learn how to present. It enhances your skills that's like presentation, time management, working with teams. That's very key. That's one of the skills I actually pick up. You have to learn how to tolerate people and how to get your idea across to other people. which is very key. And then also the culture of other people, you learn how people see things. Then you can also present yourself in a better form. You will gain when you meet other people from different countries, and then you coming together to solve problems, because you have a seminar, you have conferences that you have to work with teams from different backgrounds, and that was very helpful for my career now, because I work in an international company also where all these skills are implemented. At first, I will tell them to make good use of the opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities here. You should take good opportunity of those career events. There are a lot of career events. I think when I was there was a lot of career events. You can also approach the guidance and counseling. They give you advices on what to do. From the day one you get your admission, get here, don't play with the German language, please. Please, don't just pick something up, try it. Even if you're not going at the pace you wish to, just try to pick it up. It's tough, I know, but it's something you would need in the future. So you just need to make sure. And when you're a student, you have when you're a student here, you have discounted programs. You can also join this program. You can take advantage of the language courses. Don't play with it. It's very important. Then before you finish your program, you make sure you take advantage of this international semester. You can take advantage of that. You can also start your internship. You can get advice from alumni, people who are good at India. You can take advantage of that, get your internship. I think those will help you after your program. It really impacted my life positively, because it's not just the diversity of the nationalities, it's also the age class. This is very important to me, because I've been in the industry. I've worked for like 10 years before coming back to do my master's. So you realize that you coming back to studies, and then you can share your ideas with the younger generation, then the Putz. That's very key, sharing ideas with the young ones, knowing how they think, that's the perspective I see with diversity, not just where we come from, the age gap also, because someone with an experience comes to with this idea of coming from this background, sharing the experience among us in the group. I think that played a major key role. I had a lot of fun. That means that I joined the ISP as a volunteer, as a photographer. And I was able to document a lot of events, from the Christmas event to us going out for excursions, visiting the parliament here in Magdeburg. I have a lot of experience that had a lot of fun, but Christmas was very fun.
My name is Priscilla Putz Garcia. I am Mexican, and I studied at OVGU the International Business and Economics Bachelor and then the Financial Economics Master. And right now I am an investment associate at Pride Capital Partners. Well, in general, I would say that it was a mixture, because it was in English, so it allowed me to come to Germany a bit quicker while learning German at the same time. So this was quite nice, and the bachelor program provided me a very nice base knowledge to move forward in my career. Main advice is learn German. That is number one advice. And get a side job, like a relevant working student side job would be quite profitable. Actually helped a lot, because I think it expanded the way I think a lot. So I got to know a lot of different ways that people were thinking, and this expanded the way I thought as well, and increased my creativity, I would say. So I had the most amazing time studying in Magdeburg. I love it. And I will always remember flunky ball in North Park and paraque, like in the nights, like.
My name is Gston Lalanne. I'm from Uruguay, born and raised. I came to Germany after school for study. And I studied at the Otto von Guericke Universität Magdeburg from 2016 till 2019. I did my bachelor's there in international business and economics, so IBE. After that, I went back to South America. So I'm from South America. I was there for 2 years. Then I came back to Germany for my master's. Did my master's in Munich, also in like a business degree. But at the same time, I also started to like, so I got interested in foreign languages, basically. So next to my studies in business, I also studied to become a language teacher, more specifically a Spanish teacher. So I specialize in Spanish courses for German speakers. So during my time in Munich, I worked at the Cervantes Institute, which is like the official Spanish institute of Spanish language and culture, basically abroad. I started my own like freelance business, I guess, giving Spanish courses. So at the moment, I'm self-employed. I have my own website and I organize Spanish courses for German speakers. I would say like the reason why I wanted to study business and economics back then was because I thought that was somewhat of a general field. Like back then, I wasn't too sure like what I wanted to specialize in. I had like some ideas, the things that I could potentially go into. But a business degree was broad enough that it would help me to get into different fields. And now, well, becoming self-employed or starting your own business is definitely related to, well, business. So in a way, it did help. I did find that the content was quite academic. Like my day-to-day, say, operations as a Spanish teacher. Well, the thing is that I'm not just a Spanish teacher, right? Like I also have the whole marketing aspect and the whole finance aspect, and like there's many different aspects. Like I don't just provide the service, but I'm also in charge of, you know, administration, marketing, and so on. So I would say like some things that I learned during my time studying IBE does help as a base to what I'm doing nowadays. Get experience. Get real experience, like get a Werkstudent job, get a practicum, like do as many practicum as you can. If you have, the thing is like, I think for me, as I said before, one of the reasons I studied business and economics was because I wasn't super decided, like I want to be this one thing. Like back then, I didn't know that I wanted to be an independent Spanish teacher and have my own online school, language school, whatever. But the thing is, I think like me, many of my classmates and many, like I think a lot of people who study business are in a similar position of like wanting to do something broad because they're not quite sure exactly what they want to specialize in. So if you have a hunch, if you have an idea of like, okay, this could be something for me, like maybe I want to get into marketing, maybe I want to get into finance, maybe I want to get into a startup, working in a startup, or doing my own thing, then don't wait. Like during university, use like, it can be during the semester even, or during your breaks, use that time to do practica and to do practical things. Like me personally, I did 2 internships. Even like during the semester, I had different jobs. After university, I still tried out different things. I tried out like a bunch of different things until I found my calling. Like nowadays, I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Like I feel like aligned with what I'm doing feels right. But I wouldn't have been here if I hadn't done other things that didn't feel right. Like trying out things that you figure out are not for you is even more valuable than finding the thing that is right for you. I mean, I spent 3 years of my young life in Magdeburg. 1 semester I was abroad in France. All of those experiences, like all of that time spent, people I met, networking, friends. I made friends for life during my time in university. University is so much more than just the academic aspect of it, like the whole student life, meeting people, getting in contact with people from other countries. Like I think IBE is a great program in my opinion, also because it's so international. Like I think most people like you and I who go into IBE are interested in internationality, like international people, countries, languages, travel, and so on and so on. So I was in an environment where I was surrounded by, I don't know, 50 nationalities or something. I met people from like really all over the world, and I think that's great. I would say it impacted like my personal relationships. It impacted my worldview because I got to travel. I got to go, to France, as I said. Within Germany, I traveled a bunch. even to other countries just by being in Germany, you know, like in the center of Europe, like, so your worldview gets changed. Make good use of the time because it's gonna go by fast and you want to make the most out of it. So do as much as you can, like put as much stuff on your plate as you can chew and have fun. Let's say in a professional level, I think what impacted me most was that I was lucky enough to get a paid internship in Berlin just after I came back from Erasmus during my semester break. So I spent 3 months working in a consulting company in Berlin, and I disliked it so much. Like I so passionately hated what I was doing that I will never forget that. Like I will never forget how unhappy I was during that time. But that's great. That's awesome. Like it's great that I did that because now I know, as I mentioned earlier, that that's not the right thing for me. So like that was such a valuable experience, even though I hated it, but it was good. Sometimes you have to suffer through these things to know what's right or what's wrong for you, right? Congratulations to the international students offers and programs at the University of Magdeburg, the OVGU. I think it's great what they're doing. Back then, you did not have a lot of English-speaking bachelor programs in Germany, and I think the University of Magdeburg and the international office did a great job in organizing that and giving that possibility. I think that program just made the whole University of Magdeburg so much more international, and in my opinion, that's quite enriching.
Congratulations, ISP, on your birthday! Woo!
I want to congratulate ISP on its 25th anniversary, and I wish them that they keep impacting the students positively.
Obviously, congratulations to ISP. I'm very proud to be a graduate of the program.
I congratulate all the professors, all the people working for this program, all the students, all the alumni, and yeah, I'm sure that many more years are awaiting this program. And yeah, I hope you have a very nice event on the 27th.
Happy birthday, ISP. Congratulations to 25 great years and all the best for the next 25.